Mr. Palmer, would you care to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Will do.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, John, would you care to give the invocation?
Be merciful unto us, and bless us, and cause thy face to shine upon us, that thy ways may be known in the earth, and thy saving health among the nations. And that all the people praise thee, O God. Father, we ask that you bless this meeting and the purpose that we've gathered. Give us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to direct the things that come before us tonight. In your glory, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Tonight, sit down. I got two, I won't say presentations, but two items we're going to bring before the council. One is Ms. Ricer, who is sworn in as our new city clerk. But before that, I'd like to welcome Mr. Palmer back. It's been a long road for yourself and knowing your family.
Yes.
And I want to say Mr. Palmer called me. I don't think you would mind me saying this, but he called me shortly after waking up from his coma, asking if he needed to resign. I'm like, absolutely no way that's going to happen as far as I'm concerned. Now, if he needed to, that was his business to do it. But I encouraged him to stay. He was all for staying, but he didn't want to take away from the city his ward not being represented. So that speaks very highly of Mr. Palmer. And Mr. Palmer, I'm glad to see you're back and
Thank you.
back in helping the city.
I'm happy to be back. And I appreciate all the prayers, definitely.
Yes, sir. All right, Mr. Reiser, let's go. Get your picture. There you go.
That's even better. Thank you.
All right, you care to raise your right hand, Mike Ball? And repeat after me. Go to the city clerk's office. I, and repeat your name,
I, Diane Reisner,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution
that I will solemnly swear to support the Constitution
of the United States of America
of the United States of America
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of the state of Missouri
of the state of Missouri
and the laws and ordinances of the city of Kennett
and the laws and ordinances of the city of Kennett
and the rules and regulations of the city of Kennett,
and the rules and regulations of the city of Kennett,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of city clerk
the duties of the office of city clerk
of the city of Kennett,
of the city of Kennett,
to which I have been appointed according to law
of which I've been appointed according to law,
and to the best of my ability.
and to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Guess that's the first swearing I've ever had. I didn't know where to start and stop. All right, let's move on into our agenda. In your packet, you have the minutes from the previous meeting, dated October 7th, 2014. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Is there a motion and second. Any corrections? Changes? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We will move into item A, approval of city abstract for the month of September. We have the abstract located in your packet.
Motion.
We have a motion. We have a second. Any questions? All in favor of approving the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Also, we have the city light, gas, and water abstract for the month of September. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second? Questions? All in favor say aye. All opposed? The motion passes. Lively bunch this evening. New business. NCF settlement premium refund, Blue Cross Blue Shield.
It's on my desk. There's so many things. No, but you're not. Be right back.
Yes, sir. Okay. Let's go ahead and table that. We're gonna go ahead and move to item B. Rezoning of Second Street from R1 to B2. Who brought this to the agenda?
That was the planning commission.
Planning Commission.
It has been approved.
It has been approved.
Yes.
So we need to set a, hearing.
Set a hearing for the November 14th.
We'll be having a hearing concerning the rezoning of Second Street from R1 to B2.
Are you talking about the whole street or what portion of
The property's located on the street, and I'll give you the address. James Westbrook, and this, all he has in here is a legal description.
Mayor, if I
Yes,
could,
sir.
I believe that's the vacant lot behind Gibson's.
Quickly,
I believe, yeah, Gibson's Quick Lube. I'm not sure, I know he's owned that in the past.
on the south side of the street.
Yeah. I'm not positive of that, I'm not aware of this, but I know he's owned that property in there in the
Looks
past.
like, yeah, that's what it looks like. He's wanting to make, mini storages along that route.
When did you say the hearing was set for?
Be the next council meeting, November 4th. Yep. Any questions? We need the council to approve new signatures on the bank accounts. With the transfer of, with the change from city clerks, we need to have Ms. Reiser's name on our bank accounts. Is there a motion to approve this change?
Motion.
Is there a second? Discussion. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Street committee, are you prepared for your plan?
We table that until the next meeting.
Okay. We'll hear from that November 4th, I mean. Again, that's for the public to know, that's gonna be the plan that if you're concerned about your streets getting paved, gravel to pavement or repaved, the plan's gonna detail the next several years, so you have an idea where your street might lie.
I'll just add, we're working on a plan that you've asked for, but it got kind of held up because of the grant that we decided to pursue. So Randy's been working on that grant. So it kinda held up that process, so, but we're gonna get it done.
Okay. The trash removal, it's pretty much tabled for the time being until the letter has been approved to be sent out, so clock is ticking as far as that's concerned, but I would encourage the council to start diving into that if you want to break into a small standing committee or a standalone committee to discuss the options that are on the table and look at all the alternatives and options. I definitely recommend that taking place. If you all like for me to appoint a committee, I may. That's gonna be up to you all. But we can talk about November 4th, just kind of keep that in mind. Everything else pretty well tabled. Real inspections, the prefab home ordinance, and purchase of the paint stripper for the street department, that's
Can we discuss that, let you,
Mhm. Fine.
Okay. We have found a price for a paint striper for $3,975 from the company of Sherwin Williams in Blythe, Arkansas. We underspent on a new truck for a new Ford, and we had money left over. Since we didn't spend all that money on a new truck, we asked that we pay for that out of this.
Did we discuss that at the previous meeting?
We brought it up.
Last meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, this is not a budget item, but it's something that would be discussed, that would help the street department and dropping. We can actually do it cheaper over a 4 or 5 year period than we can.
Just more feasible to buy our own than to pay somebody to come do it. Yeah, if we paid somebody to come do it this year, it would almost pay for the paint striper itself.
Okay. I don't have a problem with it, but everything's with the finance committee as far as that's,
Yes.
okay? Unless there's a motion before we can move with it.
I make a motion.
The motion,
Second.
second, discussion. Motion is to approve purchasing the paint striper for $3,975. Just take care of all the city streets. Striping the streets or whatever we decided we need to do that.
It's capable of doing it, yeah, I mean.
Do we have people to run it, to operate it?
Primary parking lot, right, parking area.
Primary, you know, that in the streets. The contractor that did the square, when we overlaid it, would come back and do it. But he wants us to run the street sweeper over it, he wants us to use a blower to blow off each individual stripe, and we do the traffic control. And then we pay him to do the painting. All it's gonna take is one additional person to run the paint striper if we're gonna do all the other work.
And they're gonna charge us $5 a strap.
Well, you know, between $4.50 and $5.
Those
A
more
parking
feasible
space.
just to buy our own.
Okay, yeah.
I'm assuming this will be funded through the transportation taxes on the roads?
No, this would be a
Capital
Part of
improvement.
the capital improvement, the pickup came out of capital improvement.
I would suggest it come out of transportation itself.
well, the truck came out of capital improvements. and
The truck's
that's
not
where the money was left
transportation,
over.
this is strictly, well, I'm getting your area, but strictly dealing with roads.
It could come, it can legally come out of either.
I'm just thinking the capital improvement tax, we have other departments that haven't requested any funds yet. We don't want to rob it.
I retract my motion, have been asked for, be taken out of transportation tax. I mean, if we can do that.
The only thing if we need, is, we're already spending our transportation tax pretty much on streets. And right now, we may be spending ahead of ourselves a little bit. I hate to keep taking money for equipment out of transportation tax, if we can, keep from it. I think the street repairs, I think that's what the citizens expect the transportation tax to be used for, is street repairs. Not personal equipment. Well, that's the only reason I'm thinking capital improvements, but again, it's for the council.
No.
But I
Well, the
feel pretty
money is-
comfortable, I mean, this is an application to the street itself, as opposed to equipment or whatever else, so.
And like you said, Kenny, a lot of the departments don't have the transportation tax to use, and they can only get stuff out of capital improvements, so, you know, it would probably be nice to not, since they could take it out of there,
Well,
not do it.
It's not a gray area. I mean, it's strictly 100% transportation. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You're not gonna stripe a ditch with it. You're gonna stripe
Road.
the road, you know. And the figures right now, we've got, where's the total?
Yeah, the transportation tax.
Transportation, $730,000 in the
There are
account. And there is some
Money's
obligations,
coming out, yeah.
but there's $50,000 a month being deposited into that account. Capital. You're at 276, the capital improvement account. All right,
We've got two.
not too bad. So 303, $303,000, so. You can see,
It makes sense to take out transportation at this point.
yes, I would think so, but that's, so where's the motion stand?
My motion is to take it out of transportation tax.
Is there a second for that?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion on this? The motion is to approve $3,975 to fund a paint striper coming from the transportation tax. Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right, going into unfinished business. Vote to change policy on relatives working in the same department.
You all have a copy of the proposed policy. As you know, our present policy is that don't have relatives working basically in the same department. This would allow relatives to work in the same department, but no employee could directly supervise or participate in job evaluation, promotion, or disciplinary procedures pertaining to any person within 3 degrees of blood or marriage.
Motion.
Motion to accept.
Yes.
Policy change.
Second.
Motion is second. Questions, comments?
Would that totally, it won't totally rewrite the policy here?
Yeah, pretty much does.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it does, but
Yeah, it does, and yeah, that just needs to go.
it just takes all that out that we're wanting to amend. Instead of
Yeah,
3 paragraphs, I think one short one can do what we want.
Any more questions?
Is there a protocol in place to handle the supervision of the employee?
I think that's going to be up to each department
Okay.
as to how that's
Handled.
actually going to be handled.
Police department it is.
Okay.
What I proposed in police and fire was, if they're a relative, of course, if they had the information, they would be required to provide supporting evidence, but it would either go lateral to someone equal or up the ladder to the next higher supervisor.
All right, we have a motion on the floor. All in favor of approving the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion passes. We'll also vote to change policy on payroll deductions.
Again, the policy that we had on deductions was the only deductions that we were taking from any paycheck were those that were required by statute or ordinance, regulation, court order, city-sponsored insurance, or any existing written policy. And no other deductions from paychecks. As you voted at the last meeting to allow deductions for Aflac insurance, for the Aflac insurance program. And what I've done is specifically added that, a deduction for that, and also for any program specifically authorized by the city council. So that for any other deductions from the paycheck, the council would have to approve the specific program. And I also added a sentence that any deduction would not constitute sponsorship or endorsement by the city.
Motion that we accept the proposed change.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Mr. Carter, we have any new updates on the trail?
Yes, we do. You can see in front of Mr. Reisner, copy of a lot of plans. We had a pre-construction meeting this afternoon with the contractor, MoDOT, the engineer, City Light, Gas and Water, and myself, and worked out all the little minor details. With the mayor's signature and Ms. Reisner's signature, those will be sent off tomorrow to MoDOT for approval, and we'll get the notice to proceed. Contractor believes that he'll be in town the week of November 3rd to start on those sidewalks. Again, that's First Street, starting at the Palace Theater, going to the old Radio Shack in Frisco. Starting on Electric Street at the back drive in the middle school, going east all the way to Frisco. And starting on Russell, actually on the west side of Compress, they will put in a culvert across the ditch and a short piece of sidewalk there to initially hook to the trail, and then go from Compress to Floyd Street on the north side of Russell, down through there, across SEMO Health and Mako Apartments down there to Floyd Street.
So we should see some work pretty soon next week.
We got it next.
We got it, okay. Good, good. Okay, move on to report. I want to start out with some assistance from the Sokolov from the Public Safety Committee. We've got about 2.5 weeks before our hearing with, what is it, about 30 properties? 18 properties that was decided as beyond any kind of repair and health hazards. That hearing is set for November 6th. So I just want to let the public update the public as far as where that stands. As soon as that hearing's over, I suspect we'll have some properties coming down. Immediately following that, I'm going to ask the council to, or the committee, I should say, to be prepared for further hearings to start taking down the other properties that are not part of the 18, but many other properties we have throughout our city that needs to start coming down. So just the public to know that we are working on that and just making movements. Second item I have, previous meeting, the council approved a bid from the yard man for the vegetation removal. I called the yard man afterward, and we're supposed to be meeting to talk because he hadn't had all the equipment that he needed at the time. But I've been thinking, and I've actually called the other company that gave us a bid, and I was going to see if you all would be interested in having both companies work for the city. It's just their contract to get the work done. When the work's done, the contract's over. I feel like citizens, will need to wait a long time to get the streets and alleys cleared out. If we can get them cleared out sooner than later, I think that would be a benefit for our citizens. Just to travel down some alleys, travel down the streets without risk of getting their car in, scratched or whatever it may be. Also, this company, they can spray. And what I'm thinking real heavy, I spoke to Ms. Carter about, they can spray the ditches that run through here. And if you really look at the ditches, most of the tall vegetation is trees. If we can spray the trees, that eliminates your tall growth. It'd be a lot easier and a lot more manageable to maintain those ditches with just grass, as opposed to woody vegetation. They can do it for the same hourly price that they're doing the tree trimming for. So, I guess what I want to do is I want to recommend to the council that we approve that company along with your previous approval to get our streets where they need to be.
What's that gonna give us a total?
Well, it's all hourly cost. And until the job's done, they'll be on the job site. So it's not like it's gonna be like in a year, we're gonna have to pay X amount of money. It's just hourly basis. There's nothing for the city to lose at all that I can see, except overgrown streets. We can lose those, I think everybody'd be happy.
I talked to the yard man, he told me actually this afternoon that he was trying to get in touch with that company because he said that he had 12 other crews that was ready to come and just kinda knock everything out at one time.
Who's that?
With Mr. Drope, the yard man. He said that he had contacted 12 other crews to come in and kinda go underneath him, I guess you'd say. And
So, what are you saying, they're gonna take care of the ditches, they're gonna take care of buffalo ditch and all that, so we're not gonna, they pay to have them mowed?
The trees will be sprayed and killed. That's
No, I
why,
get that, but I mean,
What about the runoff in the ditches?
if the grass does not get killed,
I'm not talking about the grass, I'm talking about their spraying.
that's not our concern.
Well, I'm sorry, but it
That's
is.
they're licensed applicators. They can't spray, they gotta maintain their license. All we're concerned with is get the trees killed out, so we can keep our ditches maintained. Now, they have a license, so they're the ones responsible, they have the insurance to defend themselves if their crews do something that's not supposed to be done. But as long as we're trying to do our checks and balances to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do, that we know of at least, I feel like we'll be okay. Now, I'm stepping on Terry's toes a little bit, I feel like right now, but again, they're licensed navigators, we're not.
I mean, can this go back to the street committee for us to review and think about?
I have no problem with that.
I mean, I don't know that we have a real clear idea of where we're gonna start and where this ends right now. To be honest, I mean, I don't, unless Randy does. I mean, I don't think there's a list as far as they're gonna start here and they're gonna end here. I mean, at this point, they'd just be coming to town and going wherever, and I
No,
think
but
it's,
my plan was, this is my plan, and this is, actually, Mr. Carter hasn't been a part of this at all. I'm gonna get him on, he knows what alleys are grown up, just about every alley, since we haven't maintained an alley in don't tell him how many years, we're gonna get on the alleys.
yeah.
We're gonna clear out the alleys. First thing we'll do, if we can improve this curve here, I want them to spray these trees and these ditches right here at fall. The trees will be killed, no one's gonna notice a big brown line going through town. Get those trees killed out. I'm gonna put them on the streets. Stop signs, let's get all the stop signs, get the safety issue out of the problem.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna hit the alleys constant. Drive down street by street, then we're gonna clear out sidewalks and roads.
Mr.
I
Mayor,
just think it goes back to kinda like the streets. We need a plan as far as where we're going and where we're gonna stop, and we don't have one. That's my opinion.
What are you wanting as a plan?
Where we're gonna start and where we're gonna end.
I'd like to start with the worst ones first,
Right.
and then see where we stand after the worst ones get done. And see how many hours it takes. I mean, if it takes, I think last time we estimated like 2,000 hours, is what you said. If it takes up all 2,000 hours to get the worst ones done, you know, we might need to back up and regroup.
Maybe I'm wrong, but Mr. Carter, I don't mean to be put off wrong, but take a dart and throw it at that map right there, and I bet you could find streets anywhere around that dart that's just same condition anywhere else in this town.
Oh, I agree, there's a lot that needs to be done.
You get on one street
I
and you
agree
just
with that.
start, you know, you don't want windshield time, you want them to get on the line and just go. If you start on First Street and you start on the most eastern side of town, you work your way back.
So if they were here in the morning, would you have a plan to get them started, Randy?
Again, Mr. Carter hadn't been involved in this. This is
Well, that's why,
strictly
but I
me.
mean, but who's gonna be in charge of it? If they showed up in the morning, who would be in charge of telling them where to go and get started?
I would be working with Mr. Carter to get that going. That's what it would be.
But yeah, so where will we start at?
We may
Where will we start tomorrow?
start tomorrow,
Yeah, where would we go first?
pick the most westernmost street, and we'll start down that street.
Yeah, I just don't wanna go at this haphazardly,
Okay?
is my only thing. And it just seems like it's not well thought out at this point.
So
But that's
how
my
would you-
opinion.
I know, but how would you make a plan?
Well, we need to sit down and, I mean, we've done studies and we know what streets are worse than others and where we need to go with repairing streets. We need to do the same thing with this.
But how much manpower does that take?
Well-
Then you're talking, these guys
How
probably.
much money are you gonna waste by putting them on streets that don't need vegetation cleaned up?
There's not many that don't.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that.
I don't
there
understand
are
what
gonna
your
be-
problem is. I don't see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's like I said, that's just my opinion. It's out there and I mean, you do what you want.
There's, I mean,
But-
we already know, there's not an alley in this town we've maintained.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just a no-brainer. It's not like we're trying to find which road to make a pothole fix, because we gotta find a pothole.
okay.
We've neglected our tree trimming on our streets. I mean, that's not a known secret. When you say, Mr. Carter, I mean,
Well, I mean,
We've had our estimate,
we are behind, yes.
Yes.
I wouldn't say that we haven't done any trimming, that's not fair either. One of the alleys has been trimmed this year.
Right, but to go along with what you're saying though, you could assign them the west side of town and systematically work your way down through there. I mean,
exactly, street by street.
look at every alley.
Okay,
And just keep it going.
okay.
To me,
That's a
Yeah,
plan,
what I would do,
okay.
is
As
every
long
street.
as they knew what part of town you want to start in first,
Yeah.
that kind of works, get it